In this video, I'm going to teach you 7 words that'll save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. Now, how can I do that in a video about music streaming services? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out. There are a lot of music streaming services to choose from. There's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, Deezer, Qobuz. And no, I'm not having a stroke. Those last 2 are apparently real and appreciated by a lot of people, I guess. I don't know. But before we get into it, let me tell you about my history of music streaming services. I've been using them since before Spotify even existed. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Rhapsody, which to my knowledge was the first music streaming service available, but I had that shit on my BlackBerry and it blew my mind. Millions of songs immediately available at all times through the magic of a 3G data connection. I was in heaven. It was a 10 out of 10. And if you were like me and chose not to torrent pirated music in the mid-2000s, it was the first time that this much music was available in one place, and it didn't even take up any hard drive space. There was also the peace of mind of knowing that you had access to everything without breaking the law, and by paying $9 a month, you felt like you weren't just stealing the music from the artists. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, we know that that isn't true, but we soothe our consciences by arguing that it's the streaming services themselves that are stealing from the artists, which is sort of right. Now, even 15 years ago, music streaming had the one feature that actually mattered. Rhapsody had it, and all the current services still have it. And that feature is a comprehensive library. Can you imagine if finding music on a streaming service was as fragmented as finding the movies and TV shows that you want to watch? It would be a total nightmare. You'd pay Deezer to listen to Miles Davis, but Amazon to listen to Guns N' Roses. And then you'd have to have a Spotify subscription just to hear Kendrick Lamar. Just the thought of it makes me sick to my stomach. So, the most important feature, having a nearly comprehensive library, is something that all of the services have. And for this reason, any of them would work for me. But by the mid-2010s, Rhapsody had rebranded to Napster and appeared as if it was going the way of the dinosaur. So I jumped ship and tried the new kid on the block, Spotify. And Spotify was great too. It had all the songs, it worked on all the devices, it was a 10 out of 10. But I was making YouTube videos by the end of the decade and spending a lot of time on YouTube as a streaming service. And the lack of reliability of the whack-a-mole mobile YouTube clients that blocked ads was a pain point for me. So I bit the bullet and upgraded to YouTube Premium. For those who don't know, YouTube Music is bundled with YouTube Premium. YouTube Premium gives you ad-free YouTube on all your devices, and YouTube Music is YouTube's version of Spotify. The YouTube Music desktop and mobile clients are basically just a skinned version of YouTube that tailors search results to be relevant to music. So, a service that had all the songs, worked on all the devices, but also came bundled with ad-free YouTube, you know that it was a 10 out of 10. So that's my history of streaming services. 3 services, 3 10 out of 10 scores. But if they're all a 10 out of 10, how can I say that YouTube Music is the best? Well, they're all the same, but they try to convince you that they're different by shoving a bunch of bull crap down your throat. Things like, number 1, Lossless. I know you think you want lossless. You want to hear the ones and zeros exactly as they would have come from the record company. You've watched videos where people do null tests using software that is far more sensitive than the human ear, and you know that there is a material difference in the files. Well, let me teach you 7 words that'll save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars over a lifetime. I don't care because it doesn't matter. I don't care about lossless. I've been listening to lossy streaming for 15 years. I have a huge vinyl collection and a huge collection of lossless FLAC files that I ripped from my CD collection. But 9 times out of 10, even if the record or the lossless file is in my personal library, I'll just listen to the lossy version on the internet because it's way more convenient. You see, I'm a music lover, not an audiophile, and there's a big difference between the two. Music lovers use their stereos and headphones to listen to music. Audiophiles use music to listen to their stereos and their headphones. Now, I know that this is a controversial take, but I'm going to say it anyway. Being an audiophile is lame. Number 2, playlists and discovery. There's no denying it. I'm old. I look old, I feel old, and I'm grumpy, and I'm stuck in my ways. But there is a rule that I've always followed when navigating music streaming services. And that rule is, I tell the computer what to play. The computer doesn't tell me what to play. Now, I know that there's people out there that love the custom playlists that Spotify's AI generates for them, but I never used any of that shit. The only thing I need to discover music is exposure to the world. I have friends from whom I get recommended artists and albums. I hear songs in movies and television and on YouTube videos that pique my curiosity and cause me to seek them out. I may go see a live show with supporting acts that I've never heard before and go check out their whole catalog. The bottom line is, these services make thousands of lifetimes worth of music available, and I'll never even come close to being able to listen to everything that I want to hear. There's nothing wrong with letting the computer decide for you. It may introduce you to things that you might not have discovered otherwise. It's just not how I do things. For discovery, I use the same tool that I've been using since the beginning, the search bar. Now, YouTube Music is owned by Google, and they know a thing or two about search. If there is one quality of life improvement from the switch from Spotify, it's that it's a little easier to find stuff that I'm looking for from the search bar on YouTube Music. So, there's that. Number 3, 2 gripes about YouTube Music. Okay, I can't just sit here and glaze YouTube Music for a whole video and not complain about a couple things. One feature that Spotify has that I really liked was called Spotify Connect. It essentially allows you to control any Spotify instance from any other Spotify instance. For example, you can control your computer with your phone or your TV with your laptop. It worked flawlessly, and as far as I know, no other streaming services does it as well. It was a nice to have, but it's not a need to have. And the other thing that I want to complain about, and this is a total nitpick, but on the desktop client of YouTube Music, there's no padding between the album art and the now playing bar. Would it kill them to throw a few pixels in between the two? It just seems like sloppy design to me. Number 4, YouTube Music's killer feature. Okay, we've already established that all streaming services are the same. They're exactly the same. So why would I call YouTube Music the best? Well, earlier I said that YouTube Music was just your YouTube account with a music-only search skin, and that's important. Since it's connected to your YouTube account, it floods your YouTube algorithm with music content, which makes it suggest videos that supplement your music listening. The world is a crazy place, and if you leave YouTube's suggestion algorithm to its own devices, it will show you death and destruction and man's inhumanity to man. But if you use YouTube Music, you'll get a Jimmy Page interview right next to a video about how to install a ceiling fan, right next to a 3.5-hour think piece about how Jingle All the Way is the best Christmas movie. And I think that's pretty cool. So, is YouTube Music the best music streaming service for 2026? Yes. Either that or whatever one you're currently using. The important thing to remember is that if you're ever wondering if the grass is greener in a different pasture, just repeat to yourself these 7 words that will save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. I don't care, because it doesn't matter. I hope you all have a happy and healthy 2026. Goodbye.